Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I will be reviewing the movie House of Gaa. This movie was directed by Bolanle Austen-Peters. It was written by Tunde Babalola. Producers are Bolanle Austen-Peters alongside Joseph. The production company of this movie is of course Bolanle Austen-Peters Production. So this movie is a Netflix language film based on the life of this ruthless kingmaker of the Oyo kingdom during the 18th century, Bashorun Gaa, who used deceit and juju to build his power, but he considered himself the most powerful man in the land who nobody dares to challenge or question. So essentially the movie is about Gaa, and the story is told from the point of view of his son, one of his sons. So that's that about that. So now I'll talk about the cast and performances in this movie. The first person I'm talking about would be the character Bashorun Gaa, who was played by Femi branch. With the way the movie opened up, you see him, I think he was like the military leader or something. So he went with his men to battle and they won. So in the process of being the winner, so the king now appointed him as Bashorun. So from that moment on, this guy's quest for power has been something else. He was just so drunk with the idea of being the highest person. Everybody has to obey him. Even the Alaafin, who was considered the king of Oyo, he wanted his way. Became so obsessed with power that nobody could talk to him, nobody could challenge him. Even the king, who is of course the highest person in the kingdom, he made it in such a way that he was able to appoint who would be the king, and whoever he chooses was somebody that he would be able to control, command, and would not challenge his power or his authority. So that was what he was doing, coupled with the fact that he had this juju man, this seer that was working for him. So more or less the guy fortified him against anything. So whenever he talks, people listen to him and they feared him. And like he used to say, he considered himself to be like an elephant and nobody dares to challenge the elephant. So honestly, the character was a menace. Him being the Bashorun, he had like a lot of wives, he had a lot of children. Like, in his quest for power and his king, domineering most of Oyo, he sent, his sons and his brothers to more or less go and govern over some provinces. He feels like if he spreads his wings or he spreads his arms, throughout the whole kingdom, he will dominate it essentially. You could say like this whole quest and hunger for power and more power was what finally brought him to his downfall. Femi Branch really embodied this character, from his facial expressions to his body language to when he speaks, you could tell that he really, really brought this Bashorun's character to life. He delivers such a strong performance that, brings the intensity of who Bashorun is. Like, I don't think this movie would be as, powerful as it was without his character being so in our faces, being so strong, being so domineering. That aside, this movie had like a lot of actors in it. There were so many people in this movie, like I don't even think I'll be able to mention everybody. So aside Bashirun's character, the second person that also stood out the most was the character Sasa, who was played by Ibrahim Chatta. So he was the one who was Bashirun's medicine man or his seer or his juju man or something. So he was one that was giving Bashirun the ginger, giving him the spiritual backing to go and do all he wants to do. And he was more or less also the one like instigating Bashirun on the side, like nudging him in the wrong direction. And Bashirun as well was going there. But he really, really brought his own character to life. He gave us a beautiful performance on his end. So another person in the movie you get to see Funke Akindele. So she played one of Bashirun's wife. I think she was the first wife. Her name was Ayimba. So although she didn't have like a lot of screen time, she gave us a very, very good performance. Like, she's no stranger to movies, so we know she is a brilliant actor and she really brought the whole thing of the first wife. He didn't give us like an exceptional performance, of course, but it's just nice to see her in this movie. Another of his wives was Bam Bam. So she played her role very, very well. I can't remember her name. And you would also get to see Juliana was also one of Bashorun's wife. I think she was the youngest wife. So all in all, like all the wives did their thing and everybody delivered on their end. So somebody else you get to see in the movie, you get to see the character Oyemekun, who was played by Mike Afolarin. So this guy is the youngest of Bashorun's son. The way the movie depicted him to be was more or less like daddy's pet. So he was the softest, like out of all the sons, he was really soft. Like he didn't like fighting, he didn't want to kill people. He was just very, let's go to war. He's always tired, he's always vomiting and stuff. So he was very soft, and he had the love interest in the movie. So his character would more or less grow on you in the sense that you would see him in different stages. You'd see him, when he's training, you see him before then, like how he was, when they went to war in the first opening act of the movie. You get to see him training and how he was also showing compassion during his training. And you also get to see him when he's fighting that big guy, when he was fighting that, and towards the end of the movie, you see how he was able to evolve. You also get to evolve with him as well. And considering that the movie was also told from his perspective, he really, really, really delivered a strong performance. He did very, very well on his end. And it was just nice also to see him in this movie. Like he's getting more movie roles and he's also delivering on them. Somebody else you get to see is character Ola Utan, who is Bashorun's first son. So he was, I think they refer to him as Lao Ton the Merciless or something. So he was like the bravest warrior or the fiercest warrior. Like nobody wanted to challenge him, and he was so ruthless when it comes to fighting. It was like a mirror image of his father. So it was also nice to see somebody else you get to see in the movie. You get to see Toyin Ibrahim play the character Eda Asiko. So she was Bashorun's younger sister in the movie. Honestly, we didn't see much from her, but we just knew she was in the movie. Like you won't really get like significantly impressive scenes from her. Like her scenes will not blow you away. Or like, of course, she's a very big character. So when you see her, you know you've seen her in the movie. So she did her thing. Somebody else you get to see in the movie, you get to see Lateef Adeyemi. He played Olubu, who was one of Bashir's brothers. So I think he was the younger brother also. So he was more or less the drunk in this movie. So he wasn't considered as highly as Bashirun considered his other brothers. Of course, we know Latif, any role he's giving, he delivers on it. And considering the twist, like towards the end of the movie, because I'm trying so hard not to give so much away, considering how he was treated and how he retaliated towards the end of the movie, you would enjoy his character. Another face you would see in the movie, you see Stan Nze. So he was the Nupe commander in the opening acts of the movie, where Bashorun and his sons and his warriors were fighting this other guy. So he was the commander of that side, their enemies essentially. So it was also cool seeing Stan Nze speaking Yoruba. It was fun to see, although he didn't really have like so much screen time. That was just his own part in the movie, the opening part, and I feel like he did a really, really good job on that, considering he's Igbo, but he was able to speak Yoruba, which was nice to see. Other faces you see Gabriel Afolayan, who happened to be the older brother of Bashorun, alongside Femi Adebayo, who was his younger brother. You get to see Funke Akindele, you get to see William Benson, you get to see Ali Nuhu, you get to see Kunle Koka, you get to see Bimbo Manu, you get to see Muiwa Ademola, you get to see Benga Titiloye, you get to see Teddy A in this movie, you get to see Yemi Black, you get to see Tosin Adeyemi, you get to see Dele Odule, you get to see Bridget Nkem. The young guy, like the younger version of Bashorun Gaa, was played by Femi. Everybody really did an amazing job. Everybody brought their A game. Everybody delivered as expected. Like well-known actors, and they did not disappoint in this movie. So this movie showcases the Yoruba culture, of course, people, language, the music, festivity, like how they celebrate like things, and I really enjoyed the setting of the movie, the whole historical setting of this 18th century, way back in those days, like how everything was. Production design with detailed costumes, set designs that depict that historical setting. Of course, it's a Yoruba speaking movie, so just get ready to read subtitles if you don't understand Yoruba. Certain themes in the movie that you pick on would be the theme of power. Like, of course, number one thing with Bashorun was that he was power hungry. He was just seeking more power. He just wanted to outdo himself. Like, he was someone that would not be satisfied with anything he got or anything he had done. Just imagine, people respect you, nobody challenges you or your family, like you're that big of a deal. And yet you still want to be in charge of picking who the king would be. And if somebody doesn't do as you wish, you kill them. Like, imagine he killed four kings, four Alaafins, he killed them all. And he still wasn't satisfied. He wanted to, pick somebody that he can control, which he did. The point he got his match, he found somebody that more or less challenged him. There was one of the kings that, considering how, if people, are against Gaa or are against his opinion on certain things, the person will just go home and doesn't wake up the next day. So he was just killing people off that were not on his side. So this man that was supposed to be king, when the kingmakers or the council were telling him to be king, he said, he doesn't want to be king. He doesn't want to end up like those people. And in preparation for being the king, he went through some fortification of some sort to defend Sia, to more or less protect himself against anything that would happen. It was just also nice to see somebody more or less challenge him, because he was getting too comfortable. His power was making him feel like he was untouchable. He was beginning to think he was God. It was just nice that, this king was able to make him feel uncomfortable when that major climax happened in the movie. And you could see how he was shook, like he was so annoyed, he was so embarrassed, and he couldn't do anything. He was just so greedy. Like, this man has, is it even three or before wives, yet he still wanted to marry and marry more people in his old age. Like, what are you doing with the theme of betrayal, in the sense that it was, his own king that more or less betrayed him, which led to his downfall. I don't want to give spoilers because I'm sure a lot of people haven't seen the movie. But also see the dangers of, unchecked power, like how powerful he was. Nobody could check him. Could see the repercussions of not checking people in power, not checking people you have put to govern or direct you. And it's just a reflection of, the ongoing struggles of power and control we face in today. And of course, we all know this saying that, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely, which was what happened in Bashorun Gaa's case. Like, they were trying to justify his quest for power, more power, essentially, in the sense that we got to see what happened when he was much younger, how the crown prince beat his older brother to death. So I think that made him have this fire for revenge, and he just wanted to be the most powerful and untouchable person in order not to be helpless like he was when he was younger. I guess like that's where he was coming from. So that was why he was just hungry and just so ambitious to have power and have everybody under his thumb. All in all, the movie tells a very compelling story. Moral lesson of the story: don't be greedy. Don't let power consume you. Don't be selfish. Don't have ruthless ambition. Like, it's good to be ambitious, but don't have ruthless ambition. So favorite scenes in the movie would, first one would of course be the fight scene between Oye and Idi. That fight scene was memorable. Like, everything that played out afterwards was just crazy. Another favorite scene of mine would be the scene where the princess defended herself against Oluke. It was just funny. So kudos to the entire team, cast and crew, for delivering such a remarkable film. And of course, Bolanle Austen-Peters, she deserves all her flowers. Like, she did Milayo and some Kuti, and now she's doing, this movie, which is just amazing. Like, she knows how to give us a great movie to watch. She knows how to tell a beautiful Yoruba story. She knows how to connect with us, the viewers. She knows how to give us an enjoyable watch. So have you seen House of Gaa? You can watch it on Netflix. It just came out, I think, on the 26th of June. So check it out if you haven't seen it. if you've seen the movie, please leave down your comments in the comment section below. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Check out my other videos that I will be linking in the description and in the cards above. So what would I be rating this movie? I think I'll give it a 7/10. And what would you rate the movie also if you've seen the movie? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye.